What's up, everybody? Another episode of Verbal Garbage coming at you hot and live Tuesday afternoon. Changing it up a little bit this week. Just, fighting off so many requests for people just demanding more content. And listen, I'm doing the best I can. The makeshift setup right now, but I just want to reassure you guys. And let's call it 4 to 8 weeks out. We're gonna Verbal Garbage is gonna be reborn. We're gonna have some kind of guest launch party to get the in-person studio back up and going and celebrate. And I think a lot of big fun things coming up. So I'm just trying to churn out these solo episodes in the meantime and get them going. People ask me, I tell them I got a podcast. Well, what do you talk about? I'm like, it's a great question. Getting guns shown at me for trying to sell and take tools and the horrors of online dating and just you name it, we're covering it here at Verbal Garbage. We got this lag on my Zoom now that's been developing where I talk, and for the listeners, it looks like I got a real bad, or the viewers, real bad case of Tourette's. And we're just working through it. So let's see. Recently we've got some skin issues going on. We went to a wedding solo, not knowing many people at all. We went golfing. I paid for 36 holes between me and someone else, and we only did 18. You do the math, 9 times 2. So a little bit of into there. Talk the Eagles a little bit, talk a little bit of the UFC coming up this weekend, and just a couple current events. So, like I said, Saturday came and went. I had a wedding for a nice friend of mine who I've made since I've been working my job. One of my customers who, like I said, is a friend at this point. So, I've never ventured out to a wedding solo. I don't have a ton of weddings to my names as it is, but most of them have been very close family friends or family where, I'm a little bit of a local celebrity. I hate to say it, but if the music gets cranking and there's a dance floor, I'm that guy, right? I mean, I don't really know how to dance, which brings me to a funny little tidbit, but not really much of a dancer, but you get a little liquor in you and mixing that little marijuana and just magic seems to happen. I don't have any control of it, but I remember at my sister's wedding, we were just, man. And shout out to my brother Kurt. He's kind of trained me in the dark arts of alcohol and how to properly consume without much of a hangover and be able to function the whole time. So just constantly, I bring this thing with me everywhere. And was on the dance floor that night when we were just down in whiskey. And I remember it was just all night. I was just going fucking crazy, sweating through my suit and everything. And like the next morning, we had a little post wedding brunch to celebrate, the next day. And everyone was like coming up to me asking me if I was okay. And I can't believe you're here. Like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I was like, it was drink and hydrate. So this wedding was completely opposite for me, just because, like I said, I didn't know anyone there really. And most of I mean, I wouldn't be on here doing a solo podcast talking for 40 minutes into a camera each week if I didn't enjoy talking to people in conversation. But it was just something about when I got there, I just had no energy to socialize. And I was thinking, I'm like, at work, I socialize all week and I got to deal with these people all week. And, this is my weekend. I'm usually just laying around, chilling, watching sports, just relaxing. And I just didn't really feel like making much of an effort. So, belief, can't disgusting, hideous one at that with skin issues out the wazoo. This damsel, early 50s maybe, and just like I said, a fox of the highest order, and more just talking bullshit and during the wedding, the reception, everything. And like I said, I'm uh, chronic eczema on my eyes and my head. I got a really, I'm not gonna say a really bad case, but it's not a great case of what do you want to call it? Matte. Let's just call it warts for now. There's some warts on my face, so I've been prescribed cream, steroids, antibiotics. So my system's gonna get zapped over the next few days, but all worth it. The juice is gonna be worth the squeeze, as the kids once said. So we're just trying to get better, get back on the mats. Able to talk to my old jiu-jitsu coach the other day and reconnect with him. Gonna try to get back in there eventually, just to see some old friends and shoot the shit. And that's what it's all about. Everyone who I talk about getting jiu-jitsu into, it's just about the camaraderie, the brotherhood, the the struggle. Like you go in there and you train for, like, I've been training 4 years and I still go in there and get my ass kicked every time. And it's not this instant gratification era we're living in now, where you order something, you expect it the next day, or you get into this sport. Like, I'll admit right now, I'm getting into golf. I'm very new to it, but I'm already expecting like to be so good, and it's just not. It's not how it goes. If you're playing once a week or once every other week, it's going to be a long road. And jiu-jitsu, I was fortunate enough when I was bartending to be able to go, usually 5, 6 days a week during the daytime, and that's where I really was able to build a base. And now I'm just in this transitionary phase where I'm struggling to get to the gym as much right now due to my work schedule and my living arrangements, and I'm really hoping that's going to change in these next coming months. So just a lot of things in motion, and I appreciate whoever's out there still listening to me and continuing to give me the support, and the people that'll text me and say, "Hey, where's the episode that?" Like that. I need that shit sometimes, and trust me, this is a huge passion project of mine. I love doing it. And sometimes you just get home and you're just not feeling it. Especially when you're talking to people all day selling shit like I am, and not really knowing much about what you're selling, so you're just throwing shit in people's faces and seeing what sticks. And boy, has it been lucrative and successful lately. I sold a giant big toolbox yesterday, sold another little roll cart today, and just been these last 7, 8, 9 weeks I've really been putting in the effort, putting in the work, and just been seeing the results. So it's been pretty awesome. So yeah, we got the skin issue taken care of. We got the wedding, and then we went golfing yesterday. Me and a buddy from work, we went out. Like I said, we were going to be doing 19 or 18 holes. We get there, 9 o'clock in the morning. And granted, it is quote unquote off season in Florida right now, or season, excuse me, where the snowbirds come in full force, and the restaurants are busier, the golf courses are busier and more expensive. Just a little bit of everything, but it's good for everyone. And so we get there, and right away I'm telling the young lady I would like a 2 for 18 with a cart, and she's telling me, "Oh, there's a little bit of a tournament going on right now. We're gonna have to wait." No problem. So I go over to the putting green. I'm working on my little flop shots and my little putts. And about 20 minutes goes by, and she says, "Hey, I think we can squeeze you guys in." So we get partnered up with a duo from New York, and every time I've been golfing so far, I've had very good success with partners. I've talked about the one that got away on a previous episode, and it's shameful to admit, I guess, but I told you guys, I was able to contact the mystery man who I thought it might have been the husband. He willingly gave me her Instagram right away. What I thought was a decent message to approach, has gone unresponded. And now maybe she's listening and she hears I got some warts on my chin. So yeah, I'm definitely expecting to hear back. So yeah. So hey, confidence, right? If nothing else, I showed the willingness to go out and had the willingness to be rejected and put myself out there. And just like this podcast, I'm talking about my flaky scalp and my fucking warts on my chin. Like, we're an open book, baby. We're on here just having fun, trying to talk shit. So yeah, I had a duo from New York. It was an uncle and a nephew, which right away hit a soft spot in my heart, because I have a nephew who I'm extremely close with, and one day I can see him and I on the golf course just having fun. He's visited me down in Florida. I'm golfing. I'm 50 years old with a pot belly, and he's playing and just having fun with me. So long story short, we play the first nine with them. We get to the last hole, and then we see, because it's just a 9-hole course times two. So we're getting ready to replay it, go back, and I mean, the first hole was probably 5 carts deep. There was like two groups of four and another group of three, but two of the groups of four were majority women, which I'm not saying anything, but generally they just like to take the time a little bit more. And so my buddy decided, who's the one who got me into golf and like taught me how to play, so I didn't really have any room to stand on, other than the fact that I paid for it. But he gave me a very nice putter a while back and has given me a lot of tips. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. But you know how frugal Fred can be, and I'm just thinking about that money I spent 2 days ago that I still didn't get all my bang for my buck. So sometimes you're just gonna get the cookie crumble in that way, and kind of our shitty break to not be able to get a full 18 in. But I will say though, a couple of my tee shots with my irons, a couple of my little flop shots, and my approaches to the green, I was really playing the ball well that day. I think I'm actively getting better each time, and it's all you can ask for, you know. These new challenges and these new hobbies and such. Like now, I'm just kind of in the broad process. Well, it's got it right here actually of building my AR-15. So as you can see, I just got that new sight on there, the Holosun. I just ordered a custom charging handle back here. You can see the gun is completely empty, obviously. I got a little hand stop, got the sling on here. So shout out to my brother Kurt. He's helping me out with a lot of accessory options and some pointers. We went and zeroed out the sight the other day at the shooting range, and there's just something about doing things that is really challenging that just does something for you. You know, like I know I'm not very accurate at shooting, and then you pay the money and get a nice sight like that on, and you're zeroing away from a measly 25 yards. But even like getting headshots and bullseyes from 25 yards, like it made me feel amazing. Granted, I know it's not far and you're using a long gun, but just steadily progressing, trying to get better at every little thing in life. You know, the selling, I never was really into the sales. I always thought it was such a tough job because you're graded on a daily basis about everything, numbers. But when you're out like I am, and you're using your personality, and you're just trying to be friends with everyone and have fun, and you just like right now I'm on a kick of selling these roll carts, which range from like $2,000 to $4,000, and they're just like toolboxes that are mobile. They have obviously the wheels, but they can move around easily. And you know, if a guy's working in different areas, you can move it around. And I'm just running into shops saying, "Who wants a roll cart? Who needs a roll cart?" And I'm just talking to people. And I literally just had a spur of the moment sale today when I went and said, "Who wants a roll cart?" and just started offering some of the features and benefits for the guy, some of the stuff I could do for him. And 30 minutes later, he's trading his competitor's tool cart for one of mine. So just another great day at work and continuing to thrive. So again, I want to just shout out and show my appreciation for all my, I don't want to call them fans, but all my friends who have been supporting me. I've met another or know a couple guys at work today. Told them about how I do a podcast, and they subscribe. So I just appreciate the support from everyone. And not every episode. My goal on here obviously is to be funny, but not every episode I'm going to be humorous. Just getting the reps in, especially getting the guests back on and trying to keep it exciting. With people you don't know super well, trying to ask them questions, keep them engaged. Feel like your listeners have a point to keep listening, and I've tried very hard to work on saying at this point, there's some things that are just a lost cause. Um, one of those things that's a lost cause, which brings me to a wonderful segment here. We're gonna do share screen, but I talked about my Yeti earlier and how I'm just constantly bringing water with me everywhere I go. And what do I got something for you that on trolling on me? My brother-in-law Bob Nardi, shout out to you, big guy. But when we would go to restaurants, are you really bringing that thing in here? You're fucking damn right, I'm bringing this thing in here. Because look what we got here, guys. So I saw what I'm trying to do now. It's not specifically Florida Man, but any current events that I think are funny and topical, and I can kind of just talk on the air about. And again, we got to get this camera figured out. I'm having these weird glitch issues, so I'm thinking this fucking shitty camera is pretty much at the end of its road. But when the screen decides to share back again, and let's be honest, most of my viewership comes audio, not video and audio, so it's not a huge deal. But Florida man dies from brain-eating amoeba, possibly after rinsing nose with tap water, health officials say. All right, so I thought it was drinking of tap water, so my Yeti argument kind of goes null and void here, but is that really a big deal? So two of the current events today are extremely close to home. We got Charlotte County right here, and then Fort Myers and another one. So we're real close. So this was about 2 weeks ago. Just forgot to cover it with on my Sharif episode because me and him, if we started talking water, we would have gotten into a big argument. No, I'm just kidding. But real quick, shout out to Minnie Von Burke for the article. And this is from NBCNews.com. A man in Florida died from a brain-eating amoeba that may have contracted after he rinsed his sinuses with tap water. And if you guys can remember a current event a while back about picking your nose increases the chance of Alzheimer's, and we talked about how I am at great risk for Alzheimer's. If that study is any way accurate or true, I am notoriously digging for gold up in these sweet little nostrils, and I do my best to refrain. But We even have one episode named "Sanitary Nose Cleaning" where I literally just talk about picking my nose in my car. I mean, I'm just a despicable human. But anyway, the state health department in Charlotte County said in a February 23rd news release that it is continuing to investigate the cause of the. I wish I had my sister Jill here for pronunciation purposes, but Naegleria fowleri infection. We have not identified the patient, but I mean, I said I'd kind of rule my Yeti argument here, but tap water is just, like right now I'm pleasure to live with my brother Eva and Kurt, and they are blessed by having this reverse osmosis system where pretty much anything that comes out of any faucet in this house is drinkable. Their showers, like all their water is drinkable, and you just go into the bathroom, you fill up your fucking Yeti with the sink water. I mean, it is something to behold. So now, some people are saying you cannot be infected by drinking tap water. You're kind of ruining my argument in my segment here, Bozo. So let's disregard that. Yes, you can die from tap. um, Moral of the story is invest in a metal or stainless steel drinking vessel and bring that around, guys. I mean, if we're gonna rinse our noses in a public bathroom, I mean, I do it too. But to have the Yeti, you pour a little out. Who knows? But we just have options, and not to mention you're kind of eliminating the dolphin wreckage if you use a nice little Yeti and you're not using plastic bottles all day. You're not getting them microplastics, and you're not killing turtles and dolphins. So it's a win all around. So let's really make a concerted effort, guys, to do better with that, and let's stick with the Florida news, shall we? Now, a town that is very near and dear to my heart, Fort Myers, Florida, guys. That's where it all began, right? That's my parents' house is technically in North Fort Myers, but North Fort Myers. I've worked jobs there. That's where my route is right now. I mean, we're really on it. And there's a couple things, Fort Myers. We got a brother dispute, and we got key lime pie. So it's something that hit home with me. And this guy's doing much better than me in the hair department, as you can tell from the mugshot. But who's to say this won't be me in 20 years? If my brother tries to steal a little piece of my Carvo ice cream cake or my Cold Stone ice cream cake, I might fucking bash his brains in, and there's no telling. So we're gonna scroll down here. We got a little bit of this Southwest Florida thing that's blocking my article a little bit, which is driving the boy nuts. But you know what, guys, we're gonna navigate this, and this is So here's our boy, right? We got the mugshot, and we'll just get into the story a little bit. Fort Myers, Florida. What constitutes the perfect dessert? Is it a balance of sweetness and tartness? Is this something that reminds you of childhood? Or could it be all of the above? While the strawberry shortcake might be the quote unquote official dessert of Florida, there's no denying the true king of sweet life in the Sunshine State, the key lime pie. Well, let's go, baby. All right, we don't need to get into what makes up a key lime pie, but we know it's a staple in Florida. All right, so like I said, we talked about how sought after these pies are, and that's why one Fort Myers man went out of his way to obtain his favorite post dinner treat for his mother's birthday. Okay, we're off to a good, like a loyal son going to bat for mama, right? He took the custard creation and secured it in his refrigerator, which would remain until the big day. So my man is being proactive. He's out there. He's not waiting until the key lime pie sells out or whatever have you, or having to worry about last minute running around a couple different shops to find it. He's getting it ahead of time, like he's reserving it for mama. I mean, this guy sounds like an all right guy, right? But Powelson, drawn to the dessert reminiscent of a cartoon character, was losing all control to pie in waiting. Dun dun dun. All right, so on February 15th, around 5 p.m., the man slipped into a daze in his recliner when something caught his eye. Powelson wasn't just eating his prized possession, but was making sure there wasn't even a crumb left behind. Why didn't you just save me one piece? The dejected man extolled to Powelson. As the man's blood began to boil over the disrespect shown to his key lime pie, he confronted David, and the two became embroiled in a war of words over the final course. Wow. In his attempt to de-escalate things, Powelson tried to cool off his heated opponent by dumping two large glasses of water all over the pieless victim. Wow. With that, the Lee County Sheriff's Office, shout out to Kurt, this is my brother's employment. Maybe he was there responding to the pie. We might have to get it. Oh, he'll never come on the podcast. Forget it. Where the victim and Powelson each explained their side of the story. Following a brief investigation, Powelson was arrested and charged with battery on a person 65 or older. All right. So not only does he steal the guy's pie, but he commits battery on him. I mean, Jesus Christ, bro. So I mean, now we're getting into like how do you make it and the ingredient. Fucking tell me what happened with these people, guys. I don't care about how to make a key lime pie. A very anticlimactic end of the story. We know someone was charged, but like, did mom ever get her fucking piece of pie for birthday, or is Sonny Boy in jail and there's just no hope? Grim times ahead for Mr. Pie Man here. And listen, you got to do what you got to do. If you're looking out for mom, it's really hard for me to put too much of a burden on you, bro. You were doing the right thing, and I stand with Mr. Pie. I'm cool. We're cool here. You know what? Fuck this current event. I don't really like that one. Stupid. This one kind of wild. I don't know if you guys remember this. I think it was a year or two ago, maybe 2 years ago. There was a guy driving on I-95, I believe, in Miami. Um, what ended up happening was I believe the guy behind him threw a water bottle at him, and we don't really know much in the way of context on the story. But as you can see from the screen sharing here, this fucking retard just proceeds to just fucking go nuts with his gun. I mean, in his car. And this has kind of been a hot topic for me recently, obviously being having a firearm brandished at me and then just talking to these guys every day who just like say like, I have a fucking gun. It's like, I don't know, man. I have a gun too, but I'm really believing in the side of like gun safety and as a hobby as opposed to just like a means of force. Now, granted, obviously there's a huge reason and an argument for the self defense side of them, and I strongly believe in that. I have a fucking pistol under my pillow every single night that's chambered, ready to go. But I mean, as you can see here, this guy's on the road. He's literally here goes the video. As you can see, he's got the trigger discipline down, but he's just watching some guy pull up side by side, and he just lays on the trigger, pretty much closing his eyes. And now he's on camera talking. Like, look at this guy. He's literally just flinched back in the car, just ducking while he's shooting through glass. I mean, just a fucking moron. And like people like this, it's so hard to make the argument for the whole checks and balances system. And I believe in the Second Amendment. But I'm like, on one hand, you have people like this that are just walking around because someone threw a water bottle. He's going to start just five, six, seven, eight. I don't know how many shots he fired off there, and I wonder what he's got to. And the lawyer is saying he's justifying his actions due to the stand your ground law. I don't fucking buy it for a second. Well, anyway, his charges were dropped. I don't know what kind of charges were pending. Did not see a water bottle. Yeah, so it's kind of all I got for current events this week. But three Florida-based events is pretty topical, pretty close to home. Moving on, sports. End it with sports, guys. We'll do a little bit of UFC, a little bit of Eagles football, and maybe a touch of Sixers basketball, but probably not. I don't have the energy for them right now. Um, so UFC, we got a big card this weekend. We got the third fight of Usman and Edwards, title fight, obviously. For those of you non-MMA fans, this was a just an incredible fight last time. Usman was winning 4.5 rounds. Fifth round, last round of the fight in a title fight, Usman gets head kicked, gets knocked out, and Edwards wins the belt. So it's one of those fights I'm really interested to see because one guy was dominating the majority of the fight, and then someone got head like the guy who was dominating got head kicked in the end, and that's why I make the argument for the sport. I'm hoping to go to Newark, New Jersey, in a few months with my nephew and my brother-in-law and watch some fights in New Jersey. And just I tell people, man, don't get me wrong, I'm a lifelong football fan. I love the NFL, but something about live fights, especially UFC, the highest level, the highest caliber fighters in the world going against each other. I mean, you study all these different practices of martial arts, and Usman is a known wrestler. He's an absolute freak wrestling. Edwards is a kickboxer, so those kind of styles you get to watch match up with each other. And then like Justin Gaethje in the co-main event, who's top three, top four favorite fighter of me. I mean, he was the first person I ever went and saw in person for UFC. Flew back to Philly just to see him. He's got a very wrestling dominant style for all his life. He was an amazing collegiate wrestler, and then got to MMA and just decided, no, I'm just gonna punch and kick. So He's known for his low kicks, beating the shit out of people's outside calves, inside calf, and his left hook, his uppercuts, his chin. Um, if you guys don't watch much MMA or UFC and you're looking to get into it, this is literally like the perfect fight where there's almost no chance of any ground stuff going on. A lot of people lose interest for the non-informed fans. They don't really like watching the grappling side, the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu. These guys are going to stand on their feet. They're going to fucking bang the whole time. They're punches, kicks, elbows, knees, you name it. It's going to be coming in hot. I cannot wait for that fight. Third fight on the card, Gunnar Nelson. For the casuals out there, former training partner of Conor McGregor. They had same coaches at once upon a time, John Kavanagh. I'm not sure what his training situation is right now, but he's going against Brian Barberena. Barberena is an animal. Just a super scrappy style, super tough, got a crazy chin on him, and just doesn't give up. So I can't wait to see that. A flyweight bout, women's 125. This was originally on the prelims, got moved up to the main card. And that's going to be Jennifer Maia, number 8 in the world, versus Casey O'Neill, who's coming off a lengthy, I'm pretty sure it was an ACL injury. She's coming back for the first time. She is a smoking fox, so it never hurts to have an attractive female on the cards, and that's probably why they moved her up. And the opening bout, Marvin Vettori, who was a former, at least a one-time title challenger, I think a one-time title challenger, versus Roman Dolidze. I can't remember Dolidze's last fight, but it was wild. I can't remember. Jack Hermanson, December 3rd. I was there. That's what I was thinking about. I was like, I wonder what that was from. Yeah, in person, I remember seeing that fight there. And uh, Vittori's the vet. Dolidze's on the rise right now. He's the hot guy coming up. So I'm gonna pick. You know what? Vittori's got the wrestling, the all-around game. I'm gonna go Vittori. I'm gonna go O'Neal. I'm gonna go Bam Bam Barberina. I'm gonna go Gaethje, and I'm gonna go Usman. So we'll see how those picks hold up. And what's last thing I kind of want to cover today? Philadelphia Eagles offseason. Um, am I a little bit worried? Of course I am. We had a chance to win the Super Bowl last year when our team was fully stocked up. We had the roster that we knew was probably in my lifetime the best of roster I've ever seen on a Philadelphia Eagles team, possibly an NFL team. I mean, we were so loaded this year. And football fans will watch football and just talk shit about this and that, but they don't really understand the game. Like I've been trying to explain to people all year about Jalen Hurts is still on his rookie deal. Like this is the time to strike because they're making moves like signing Bradbury. They signed CJ Gardner. They got CJ Gardner Johnson in a trade. They were able to. I mean, just these numerous pieces they were able to get in the offseason. You had the AJ Brown acquisition. You had a lot going on where we were able to draft people like Devontae Smith and pair that up. And the problem with the NFL is, Jalen Hurts, you got him on a cheap rookie deal, but that shit's gonna end. And when he's playing an MVP type season, which he definitely did, you ain't gonna get away with being able to pay him pennies anymore. So now that comes up, and now we're, just as today, Javon Hargrave signed a deal with the fucking 49ers out of all the goddamn teams. And I always dislike the 49ers, but this most recent postseason when we hurt their quarterback and then they make excuses like they're the best team. And if we had well, yeah, if you had your quarterback, well, maybe if your line was blocking our defensive line, you would have kept your quarterback. But I've already went on this rant before. So we lost Hargrave. Pretty sure we lost Kaiser White. We lost T.J. Edwards. Um, Bradbury and Slayer looking like we're gonna lose them. If we lose C.J. Gardner Johnson, guys, I'm really gonna have a hard time with this. I mean, that guy is like the backbone to our defense. Um, Reddick, that was another guy. You were able to get Hassan Reddick in the offseason because of, having a quarterback on a cheap deal. And if I were thinking more clearly right now, I'd be able to think of a couple more acquisitions they got in the offseason. But anyways, we're having some guys drop like flies right now. Linebackers, D line. I'm just really hoping that we can keep Gardner Johnson. We can find a way to keep Jalen Hurts. We can keep Goddard. We can keep Devontae Smith. Kelsey's coming back for another year. We just lost Dillard, who was a first-round pick a few years ago. We lost him for nothing. Went to the Titans, I think. We signed Rashad Penny today, which he's a good veteran running back if he can stay healthy, but that's a huge if. Maybe if they approach like a little running back by committee and they use a little bit of I don't know. It's tough, man. They went from being the most loaded roster in the NFL to losing a lot of pieces that people want. We're losing some staff members, some of the coaching staff. So it's going to be an adjustment. I don't think our division scares me by any means. You got the Giants paying Daniel Jones close to $50 million a year now. You got Dak Prescott stuck in mediocrity, and you got the Redskins, which I don't even know what the fuck they're doing. I mean, just let them have fun. Other news around the league, I think Derek Carr is going to the Saints, if I'm not mistaken. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to the Raiders. Tom Brady might come out of retirement. Aaron Rodgers looks like he's going to the Jets. So a lot of moving pieces out there, and kind of excited to see how it all unfolds. And let's really keep CJ Gardner Johnson, guys. That's all I'm asking. So I think that's going to do it for this week's episode. Just wanted to get something out there for you guys, and try to get another one next Monday or Tuesday. Coming back at you hotter than hell. But it's another episode of Verbal Garbage in the Books. Thank you guys for listening. I'll catch you next time. Peace.